It is super early. We're going to talk about why blockchains and AI will destroy all human life. But I'm going to have to do it outside because wife and baby are sleeping. I'll be killed if I wake them up. So the question today then is, in this very, very sunny day, will blockchains and AI take over the world? Personally, I'm hoping for a zombie apocalypse. But we'll see what we can do. I'm going to show you two videos now. The first video is this. It's an amoeba eating some of its prey. Does this look intelligent? I think the answer is no. Now the second clip is a big cat attacking its prey. Does this look intelligent? I think the answer is yes. Now why is that? And my thought is that the world that the cat lives in is a much more complex environment. There are lots of variables to take into account. The amoeba is in a very small environment. There's not a lot of variables to take into account when attacking its prey. And maybe that's got something to do with it. Maybe the emergence of intelligent-like behaviour is down to the complexity of the environment. Now, when the internet came out, I was very excited. I was doing some AI research with the GNU research team in Birmingham, and I was really excited because the internet contained all of humans' knowledge, and that made an amazing world model for which the AI to live in. Now, that never really happened, and that was specifically because the internet is unstructured data. It is data that you still have to interpret, and that interpretation is where the complexity comes in for computers. I'm going to show you how we can build complexity and what looks like emergent intelligent behavior in a computer system. Let's do that. But to do that, we need to go somewhere that is much darker because it's way too bright out here and I can barely see myself. So I'm going to write a piece of software which will demonstrate this, the fact that complex behaviours can emerge from simple rules. And it's based on a game called Game of Life, written in the 1970s. And the rules kind of go like this. You have a grid, and on that grid you have a dot. That dot is like a cell. If that cell has another cell by the side of it, it multiplies and moves, but the old cell dies. Now that's as straightforward as it gets. There's a couple more rules, but not for the purpose of this demonstration. Now, the interesting thing is that when you put one dot on the screen, not much happens. The dots kind of behave like you'd expect them to, very simply. But let's create a whole bunch of dots. A few dots kind of randomly scattered around. What you can see now is actually that they're interacting, and all of a sudden you have this strange travelling behaviour from the dots. Where did that come from? Well, it's not something I programmed, it's something that emerged from the behaviour of the interaction of the dots. So what does this mean? Well, it simply means that if you have a simple rule in a simple environment, then what you'll get are predictable, mathematically driven behaviours. But if you have a simple rule in a more complex environment, i.e. where they're interacting with other rules, then all of a sudden you get more complex behaviour. Now, you have to ask yourself, why is that important? Well, remember about the structured data and the world model? Oh, here we go, loads of stairs. Well, AIs and computer systems need worlds in which they can interact, which they can influence. Now, The internet never gave us that because of the unstructured data problem. But blockchains are structured data. Why am I walking upstairs? Now we've got the blockchain. The blockchain is that world model. It's that structured data. It has tokens, as in assets. It has transactions, i.e. tying all those assets together. And it has identities, as in who is actually using it. You might be saying to yourself, well, how does that mean AIs can take over the world? Well, it's quite straightforward, actually. The AI recognizes the world is overpopulated. It then looks at ways to reduce the population count. It doesn't want to do this through killing, but what it can do is it does this through birth control. Now it looks at relationships. Somebody buys a diamond ring, somebody buys a house together, two people live in the same house, a marriage occurs, a baby comes out. Right, now why can't the AI look at that pattern, a very obvious pattern in many cases, go back and say, you know what, let's increase the price of diamond rings. Let's delay the mortgage for the house. Let's cause stress to this relationship. Maybe that'll only have 1 or 2%, but 1 or 2% in 7 billion is quite a bit.